Crypto winter. Crypto winter. And can't afford king cakes. Cannot afford king cakes, that's for sure. But eat the one we got now. Like the one I showed y'all Tuesday night is over half gone already. Told you. It's like mysterious. You just walk through the kitchen and then you walk by and all of a sudden there's like 2 inches missing. And I'm like, what happened to it? Like, and then next thing you know, you got a piece in your hand. It's just second nature. Got a heater down below me. Telling you, this is like crypto winter, man. It was wild today. Eat bugs, dude. I ain't eating bugs. I got beans and rice. Beans and rice. That's how cheap we are today. Beans and rice. I know some people don't agree with it, but I'm telling y'all, I think the most disgusting part was that I don't have any dry powder on the side to buy the dips. Tell y'all, I told y'all last week. Not that I'm saying I predicted this crap, but I told y'all last week, $58,000. Told y'all, $59,000. Earlier today, I was watching George, and I'm watching him live. And as we going on live, he talks about it was gonna bounce off 68,000 or 60 something thousand, 67, and it bounced and stood there for a little while, like 2-3 hours. He said if it fails this, it's going down to 59,000. And you look at where we at tonight, we came down to 59,000. Now we're kind of busting. So this is the 1 hour chart. What happens? I don't know. What is our game plan from here? Definitely don't know. None of this, of course, because y'all can't sue me because I'm as broke as some of y'all are now. But none of this is financial advice. This is just me talking like I'm drunk. Unfortunately, I have not had anything to drink. I'm just getting home. Took some beans out the can, literally. Warmed them up, put a little spices with it, warmed up some rice, and told my daughter, this is dinner tonight. She wasn't complaining. So hopefully everybody's doing well. So passive income, what y'all know about selling stuff on Amazon? I think the biggest mystery still is, we can sit here all night for the next 2 hours and joke about crypto crap. But I got friends at work, I've told y'all this before, I got friends at work who do not touch crypto. Don't believe in it, they think stocks is it. I know 2 different people, one guy I work with, one guy who I've been good friends with, growing up since probably 4th grade, that I still keep in touch with, makes better financial decisions than I do. He actually was in the crypto, their last real bull run, went in with 10 grand. When he doubled it, he got out like that quick. Said, I'm done. He got out. Put it all into gold. He's a gold person. 2 guys that work with gold. 2 guys that I know with stocks. They're hurting as bad as we are. Now, I don't think the gold guy is. I don't know what the stock guy is. Excuse me. But what George talked about earlier, and I'll tell you all this Tuesday night, gold went down, stocks going down, crypto's going down. People are selling it. Where the hell are they putting their money at? Because normally they take out of one place, put it in another place, take out of another place, put it in another place. And I don't. I guess you know when when my grandmother died back in. No, actually, we moved her out. We're still getting Alzheimer's, but after Hurricane Katrina, the house got 8 foot of water in it. She had 2 story, and my grandfather had died. I was very, very close. I named my son after him, um, but we had to go clean out her house after Hurricane Katrina. The house was going to be demoed. Homegirl had bags of cash. Like she ate rice because you would thought she was poor as hell. Bags and bags and bags of cash. That's how the old people lived. Are they going back to that? Like, where the hell is all this cash going? Make sure you hit the like button for me. Make sure you vote in the poll. Only have 5 people vote so far. Got a poll going. Got 12 people watching. I appreciate everybody coming in. We are going to talk about king cakes because at least I need something to make me happy. But, I'm curious to what people are going to do. That's why I put that poll up there. And look, I put a poll early on my Discord. If you haven't seen that yet, I tagged everyone in it just to try to get some, but it's in the Wingbits section. But I didn't, I don't know if it stirred a little bit, but I didn't really mean it as, I guess I kind of did mean it as a Wingbits thing, but just follow me. But also like any project that y'all might be in that I might not be in, that might be going to TGE soon. Do you still want them to go to TGE in this time period? That's kind of what I meant by it. Now, if I would have said any project, some people probably would have answered. But I know majority of y'all who are in my Discord who are also in Wingbits. And I was curious to know, what's everybody's kind of, Wingbits, of course, but also any project that you might be in that might be going to TGE soon or says they're going to TGE soon. Would you still want them going to TGE at this point? Because it's almost like the token price is going to be doomed if we're still dropping. Now, I will tell you this. Everything that I have been watching, I've been trying to do a little more homework, a little more, to bring all this to y'all over the last week, at least a week. Everybody was talking about 58, 59,000. If it went past the 60s, 57, 58,000. Why that magic number? I don't know if it has something to do with the miners, with electricity. It's going to cost more to work. I don't know, something like that. But what happens if it falls below 58? I think we're in way uncharted territory. But, if it continues to fall, any project going to TGE is doomed as far as the price. Now, I mean, it could always recover if it's a good project, a good, strong project. But I'm getting all kinds of coin market cap alerts. So wanted to see what the polls look like. So, a purely unscientific and unofficial poll by the Grumpy Dad channel, meaning Wingbits has no idea that I did this poll. They didn't ask me to do this poll. This has nothing to do really with them. This is me being bored today, trying to get. I actually had like a bunch of notes to bring tonight for this live, but I'm sure y'all will be very surprised to know I left them on my desk, which has happened many times before. But this was me kind of thinking, like, again, just trying to gauge what a lot of y'all's plans are. The poll I just put up on YouTube, but what's everybody's plans going to be? Like, what's your feelings towards Wingbits? A lot of people, and look, you got 4 people right here voted out of 26 votes. They want TGE now, no matter what. Bring me the money. I don't care if it's dropping. Bring me the money. Should Wingbits delay TGE with the current crashing crypto? Yes. Would be too much downward pressure. It doesn't matter when to go TGE for me. So some people might say, look, you can go TGE now, you can go TGE 6 months now. I don't care as long as it goes to TGE at some point. And some people, including me, say, look, the original plan right now was to go Q1 which would be by the end of Q1, they said, which is end of March. We wait to then. You never know when Donald Trump's gonna come out again and say Bitcoin is gonna be the official, U.S. currency, electrical or something like that. Then everybody's gonna just go jump wild in. Because let's be honest, I might be in a complete minority when I say this. Reading X today, X is like reading a funeral obituary. But going through YouTube, going through X, going through, places for me to get a little bit of research, you got people believing that this is the beginning, full beginning of a bear market. I have said for 12 months now, all bets are off. For 12, 14 months, actually, probably 14 months. With this president, this cabinet, his plans, his trigger words, his troll words, his stupid decisions, his smart decisions, despite whatever you want to feel about it, I'm not trying to make this political, but we all know this man is involved in crypto. Donald Trump Jr. is involved in crypto. His sons, his daughter, they're all involved in crypto. Do we really think he's going to let this shit crash? Because me, with my conspiracy hat on right here, I'm telling you, I think this man's loading up right there. I think he and his sons are backing up the U-Haul truck and they're loading up on whatever crypto they want. And then they're going to come out, say a couple of keywords. Everybody's going to get their penises hard again. Well, I don't know if I can say boners or not on YouTube, but there it is. And this shit's going back to 120,000. Does anybody disagree with that? Well, does anybody disagree that it's capable of doing that? Does anybody agree that Donald Trump can go manipulate and say, we're doing this and this, and this is going to be the official crypto of the United States. This is the new rules we're putting out. XRP this. It's all going to go up. See, 619 says, well, he's making it crash so we can buy a ton of reserves. I know the United States said they had a bunch of reserves already, and they weren't going to add any more. But, again, who knows? Yeah, excuse me, my beans and rice is getting cold. Let's see. Going on the mattresses. Jay Styles, that's where my grandma had hers at. In a brown paper bag, I mean, I don't see millionaires and big retail and all that stuff putting their stuff in the mattresses, but they're doing something with it. I mean, I can't see them letting it sit and check. Like, where is it going? TG now can't get any lower, right? Shit. Can't get any lower. AccuRest launched last week and only went down like 5-10 cents. Well, that's good. You missed the timing on TG, so let it ride this week. But did they? Because if they would have went down, if they would have did TGE before the end of the year, like one of the timelines said, where would it be at right now? It could have been at 5 or 6 cents, like some people said. Where do you think it'd be at today? It'd be back at 2 cents, and everybody would be saying, "Oh man, we lost half the value of Wingbits, and this is a rug pull." Not looking at what the whole market's doing. Off the rails night. I should have drank before I came on here. You really go off the rails. But, of course you watch George, Cryptos R Us. I'll try to watch him whenever I can. And, of course, this is a great time to buy. Toyo, with George, it don't matter. It don't matter what's going on. It's a great time to buy. Today is always a great time to buy for him. And it doesn't matter it don't matter if it's skyrocketing. It means you better hurry up and get in. If it's falling, it means it's good pricing. Great time to get in. And listen, I have been contemplating one reason I'm doing the videos, to be honest, watching these videos also, is because I don't know what the hell I'm going to do. Like that poll is a serious poll for me, because while I am hodling, I'm not selling nothing. I will tell you though that I told y'all, if y'all followed my videos enough, that I have that, or at least I had that $1,000 in Solana, 7.6 Solana. Earlier today, when we saw this downward pressure coming, I tried to sell $150 of that at the time, and just to make a little bit dry powder in that wallet, USDC, so I can buy it when it crashed later, and it wouldn't go through. I tried it with maximum slippage and all this crap like that, auto slippage and all that, and the transaction wouldn't go through. And of course, now it's way down. Now, if it would have went through and sold, I would have personally stopped this crash today. If I go and sell some of my crypto, I will personally be responsible for stopping this crash. That's how it works for me. This is a 15-minute chart. So for the past hour and 20 minutes, Bitcoin's going back up. I don't know where we're way below my line of support right here. You know, I don't know. You can go, like, you can try to draw these lines you want. I don't think any of that's gonna matter. I mean, there's not enough reference points, I think. Yeah, I don't think anything's gonna work. I don't know. I don't know where we're gonna go. Ethereum was getting crushed earlier, $1,700. No, here we are. 7 days ago, a week ago, we were at 3,000. We were just at 1,700. That's crazy. I saw a couple of people talking about helium earlier. Helium is 70 cents. You know, somebody joked earlier in my Discord about helium, him losing sleep and kicking himself in the ass for not selling at 50. And I made a joke about not selling it at $10. Then they're not selling it at $5. I'll go on a limb on this one. Y'all can disagree with me. Some of y'all might agree with me. 619 is going to agree with me. There are some tokens that I can point to on this list and say, I have no doubt that at some point, whether it's before the weekend, whether it's before February's over with, or in the next full cycle, I have faith that certain tokens are going to bounce back and bounce back very well. Helium is not one of them. Can anybody name something positive that helium has going for it? I'll wait. I'll take it in the bite of my beans and rice while y'all sit there and think about it. Need to play the Jeopardy music. Because I don't see it. Because I'm going to tell you, if you do think helium is going to go up, for you, not for me, this might be a good buying opportunity. 70 cents. But it was $1.40 2 weeks ago. The IoT side is shot. Everybody, including myself, is taking miners offline. At some point, I keep saying over, I hate to sound like a broken record, but at some point, Demo, WeatherXM, and whoever else has contracts with them, is, I would think, is not going to renew because the amount of stations going offline means that their devices can't go online. I don't know. Vet, I will tell you that earlier, I bought more Vet when it hits, when it hit, it was about 7.2. Just again, it wasn't a lot. It was not a lot at all. I had some extra little USD left over for when I wanted to buy earlier last week when we were talking about it, and I was waiting for it to fall below this level. And I bought it like 80083-ish. So I kept a little bit on the side. So when they went to 7.3, I bought some more. Just a little bit to try to get my average cost down. What I also bought was more VThor. I thought I had it on this list. And I'm gonna tell you, this keeps falling. I'm gonna buy some more just to try to. Not that I even have a lot of money. A lot of it is just me taking a bunch of crap coins that are down also and just moving it around, playing a shell game. But at some point, I'm not gonna buy the dip no more. And that's again what I'm getting at with my poll is I've said in the past that if we get another hard bear market, I'm only concentrating on Bitcoin from this point forward. I'm not buying all these tokens. And then you get lured in, you're like, well, but them tokens go back to all-time high. But if we did have a bull cycle alt season, like Tech Hustler said, we didn't even sniff all-time highs again. You didn't see a Cardano at $3, a Vet at 20, an Atom at 40, Helium at 50, AVAX at 100, WIF at $4. You didn't see that. I don't know what ICPs was, but it wasn't that much better. Hell, XRP didn't even get back to their all-time high. Was at like almost $4. Look at 90%. I don't know. Like, because part of me says, part of me wants to bring my average cost down, of course, on my alts. But there's a part of me, you look at this last bull cycle, it was all Bitcoin. Now, knowing my luck, I'm going to tell you how my luck's going to go. Remember, I told you this on February 5th. My luck will be, I say, you know what? From this point forward on February 5th, I'm not buying another single altcoin. And I am strictly loading up on Bitcoin. And y'all watch the next freaking bull season that comes along. It's only going to be altcoins that run. Watch, because that's just my luck. Helium locks my wallets on mobile. Well, I never had mobile, so. All right, 8 votes. If y'all can go hit people who are watching, y'all go check the poll out in the chat. Make sure y'all vote, please. Make sure you hit the like button. I appreciate it. So, I think for right now, we hammered that enough. Let's go. We're going to pivot a little bit. I wanted to discuss CapturGO. We know CapturGO came out with their update. And one issue that we have found so far in the update is they're supposed to be coming out with another update to correct this, but right now it closes out every time you minimize it. If you don't keep this open while you're driving, it does not scan in the background. So people have been asking, is it supposed to scan in the background still like it did during version 1? They're saying yes. This is a bug. But I know a couple of y'all have asked me if I knew about this or heard anything about this. So I wanted to, touch base on this. I bet you CapturGO postponed TGE. Not that they had a date, but so I don't know what's going on with that. I know they talked about it. I've also learned that your referral code has changed. So in the last 3 months, I've been putting my referral code back there, like in all these videos, and the referral code's changed. And what I also saw is that if you are watching this and you like, hey, I want to get in touch. I want to get started with CapturGO. It's a free project, runs in the background normally of your phone. So what do I have to lose? That's how I feel about 375 and CapturGO. You have nothing to lose. It's running in the background. I don't have an issue with my battery dying. And I got an iPhone 13 or 14. Excuse me. But my point is, if you decide you want to get into it, the only way you can get into it is by using my code or somebody else's code with the project. You can't just blindly get in the project. Like, I don't understand that. Which, if people use my code, hey, I'm happy. I've had a couple people. But some people might come across this and Discord don't have people's codes. I'm sure they got a place on there you can shill your code, but you know. Mass chain, I don't think there's nothing really new that we haven't talked about Tuesday night or anything like that. Chirps come down also. Um, I'm having a lot of problems. I don't know about y'all, if y'all are running KAGE. My KAGE is closing out more than my CapturGO is. It seems like every time now I go back to my phone to check my Chirp KAGE running, I got to start scanning again. It's not like it completely closed me out where I got to sign in again, but the scanning stopped and I have to initiate scanning again. So it does not scan in the background like it used to. I don't know if y'all are having that issue or if there's an update that I'm missing or something, but I'm telling you right now, like every time I go check it, it stops scanning majority of the times. Depending on how much time has passed and stuff like that. 375's got some announcements. 375 CEO is live on X. Come check Harry now and on Deep Pin Coffee. Harry featured on Ginfinity. Check out the latest from 375. Hey man, they're out there. They're trying to do something. And a lot of us found that we got more rewards. I got more rewards this time. I don't want to lie to y'all. Let me verify it. So I got 80 375 AI on Epoch 7. That is more than I've gotten the last 3 epochs combined. The last 3 epochs, and then look, I've been driving the same amount. Going hunting, going to different meetings around the state. About the same, I bet it's average, very close to the same amount of mileage. But the epoch before that, I got 16. Epoch before that, I got 19. And the epoch before that, I got 23. Epoch before that, I got 72. So, like, this is the most I've gotten since the initial epoch where we got testnet tokens to Epoch 1. So, I don't know how bad of a hit that they have taken Ooh, their price is down 25% for the day. Almost 50% for the week. So I made 65 cents in, what's an epoch last on 375 AI? About 2 weeks, 10 days, 2 weeks, something like that. Which again, 80's better than, hey, and before this drop, we've been over $1. What you gonna do with it? Can't even sell it. Solana is on sale, ladies and gentlemen. $77. So a little over a year ago, it was at 300. So you're down 76% from a year ago. You're down 72% from 4 months ago. Luke is way down. See, Luke's another one. If I had some spare cash, I'd probably throw a little bit there. Whiff's at 21 cents. That's the lowest it's been in a while. So when Adam falls below $1, I'm gonna find some cash from somewhere. Like I said, there's certain ones that just because I'm so high in, I was buying Adam at $40, $30, $20. I'd hate to figure out what my average cost by him. He falls on $1. That's making some serious headway. And I talk all this shit, and then at the same time, I'm like, why? Why keep screwing with altcoins that may never go back up to all-time high again? Just put that money in Bitcoin. It's the voices in my head, man. I'm telling y'all. The milkman says never buy Bitcoin. That's what he said. I mean, actually, what he said was, you buy Bitcoin after your alts pump and you sell it. Well, our alts didn't pump. So if you're selling it close to what you bought it for. Some of them had a little bit of a pump, and we went over that the other night. But, some of our alts pumped, and we thought it wasn't even close yet to alt season. So, we wouldn't have sold. But this is Cardano, and, you had bear market back here at 25 cents. Maybe our alts, I'm not even showing you all the screen. Shows you how unprofessional I am. From the bear market bottom at 25 cents to $1.31 that Cardano hit at the end of that year, December, you were up 450%. But again, nobody would have sold because what they kept saying, we got to have a great alt season next year. Great alt season next year. Right? Even if you take it from the halving, let me see. What was the halving was 420. How can you forget it? See, some of these tokens really didn't pump. I mean, does anybody like? I know we can look at these percentages enough till we make ourselves sick, but was everybody kind of the same boat I was? Is that we still gonna have this great alt season? We're gonna have this great alt season, and Bitcoin and alt season's coming. Y'all buy your tokens. Alt season's coming. Y'all buy. Like we kept seeing it like a broken record over and over and over. I need a haircut so bad. Can't afford a haircut. I mean, hell, even Tech Hustle told us about the alt season was over with after it was already over. You go back to point the fingers at him, right? Milkman, you are echoing exactly what I said in the last 2 or 3 bull runs. When all my friends want to know what to get into and stuff like that, I tell them the same thing. I don't buy Bitcoin because even if you buy right now and it's down, let me look before I make this stupid statement. Okay. So if you buy $1,000 worth of Bitcoin right now, and it goes back, now look, it's crashed. People are about to jump off buildings. Do we deny that? No. Everybody agrees with me what I'm saying. This is bad for Bitcoin. But Bitcoin has not been this low since before Donald Trump got in office, because somebody had to make an X Twitter for that, a tweet for that. Okay? That's how low Bitcoin is right now. And if Bitcoin goes back to all-time high, you still will not double your money. So that's where me and Milkman we kind of agree with that point. But my thing is, you look how much it went up since the bottom, basically the bottom of the last bear market. $700%. So if we come down again, I'm trying to figure out how to get to 600% again, which I don't think it's ever going to get to that. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, it's even like it's gonna have to go lower. Like this, that's. But I agree with what Milkman's saying. Is that's why I have not messed with Bitcoin, is because. But my point I'm getting at is maybe it's time for me to put put some cheddar into Bitcoin, because with ETFs and with retail and everything that's going to come back into it, at some point, and this is what George said earlier. This is what Tyler said, and it was somebody else I was watching. The guy I showed you all night, but they also basically said at some point, this is not going to zero. I don't see it getting to 15,000 like it did last time. Nothing like that. At some point, retail is going to say, "Okay, now it's time to get back in. You better hold on to your hats." Excuse me. Now, is that this week, next year? I don't know. But we just watched alts couldn't even get back to their all-time high from 3, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, whatever it was. Are we going to trust that's going to go back to all-time highs again? Again, knowing me, if I get straight into Bitcoin, that's what's going to happen. So look at me falling on a sword to help y'all out, right? The Milkman, I listen. I'm not disagreeing with you. Don't take a disagreement. What you're saying, that fundamental is what has led me since 20, whenever one of the alt seasons was, 2020 maybe 2017, 2018. I don't know. If 1,000 of Bitcoin goes up 20%, you're up $200. If you do that with an alt that goes up the same thing, you take home a lot more. Why do you think I'm putting in vet at 0.007? Think about it. It was at 20 cents, not 2 cents, 20 cents. If I can just get back to 10 cents, what's that, like I failed college math, 12 or 13x right there. You know, Cardano right now is a 10x if it gets back to all-time high. Solana is 3x, 4x, I don't know, 5x. You're right. But alts have to get back there. And that's what we just learned. Alts didn't get back this time. Especially these older layer one boomer coins, as they're called. Cardano. You know, Solana is a little different because of the amount of memes and stuff. People want to attack the fact that there's so many memes and so many criminal coins and stuff on Solana. But that's still usage. Burning and using that token. That's going to help it out when this next thing happens, whatever. Let's see what else. Agency gained momentum because all the fees, including onboarding that manufacturers had to pay in helium. Listen, I have echoed that over and over and over. I 2,000% agree with you, Jorge, is that the reason helium did so well and went up to $50 was because you had 900 and something thousand, 930, 140,000. Did they ever reach 1 million? I could have sworn at one time I remember seeing them celebrating 1 million. Even though they never had them actually online at the same time, they had them onboarded. But those stations being onboarded eventually at some point to get to the 1 million were all HNT usage, fees, burning. They had to, if I'm not mistaken, I remember reading this in the white paper. Let's use Nebra because I was messing with a Nebra device today, outdoor device, trying to wipe it. So Nebra had to pay a fee just to be able to manufacture that device, then had to pay a fee to onboard that device. They had the prepaid or $10 license or whatever it is. So that's why now if you happen to find a new device on eBay, none of these manufacturers have their onboarding credits anymore, so you have to pay it yourself. All those people onboarding 900,000, almost 1 million devices was token usage. That's what drove that token to $50. That's why I say again, I don't see that happening again. I'll be surprised if it gets back to $5 or $10. Maybe in a super duper crazy bull market. Because I've always, I've told y'all before in the past, even in crazy super duper bull market alt seasons, even crap coins go up. Even crap coins that have no team behind them, projects abandoned. We saw that back in 2018 or 2020, 2021, whatever it wasn't, is tokens. Look at Dogecoin. Dogecoin had no team behind, nothing behind it. It went up. Also, they were able to lock a lot of tokens to validate a scam. Yes, you're correct. That's one thing. Luckily, I started getting in on their scam before I got involved in that. Most or none of us have enough cash to throw at Bitcoin to play the low and highs. I do not disagree with that at all. I really want to go start cutting grass. I need to go find a way to work more overtime at work. Something's got to give. Something's got to give. And my other issue is that when certain emergencies or shenanigans come at my house, what I've been able to do over the last 6 months was take a little bit from crypto. Well, now my crypto's so low, I can't pull it. I couldn't imagine pulling it for the emergency right now because of how low that token is. I'm like, it would kill me. Don't get me wrong. If it's a family emergency, I do what I got to do. It's going to kill me. And then what my plan would be is depending on what I get back from Wingbits and how that looks, maybe taking a little bit of that and replacing some of these other ones. You know, I have kind of my own plan for Wingbits, and I don't know exactly what I want to release yet or not. But there's a part of me that's looking at Wingbits as two separate streams again, because I have 15 stations online. Plus, I'm getting a station, supposedly this new station to test out. I don't know how that's going to work out. And I got 5 stations with friends. I look at Wingbits as 2 different incomes for me when that starts. Is the everyday mining of 15 or 20 stations, and then also my back tokens that are going to be dropped to me. One of them I'm not going to touch. I'm going to look at them and see which one's kind of, I guess, more or whatever. One of them I'm not going to touch. I'm hoping they got some kind of staking or something like that. Some of it I'm going to use to pay back some of the things I got with it, and maybe a little bit of income to move into other places and hopefully replace some of this other stuff and things like that. Again, it also matters what the token price is. If the token price is shit, I ain't doing nothing with it. Bitcoin should be a long-term hold play with. Listen, Bitcoin is a long. It ain't about, hey, what's this project going to do over the next 2 or 3 years? Bitcoin is a long. I've always said I wanted a Bitcoin to be able to pass on to my kids, like when they got married. Like that was my game plan back in 2018. I screwed that up. Or 2016 when I got into it, 2015, whatever it was. Bitcoin was so cheap back then. My whole plan was have a Bitcoin for both of my kids, give it to them on a thumb drive when they got married. And by the time they got married, which is hopefully another 10 years from now, that would be enough to get them started on whatever they needed in life. That was my original, the good dad plan. Well, I got kicked in the nuts at some point, and that never happened. They definitely ain't getting one now. But, I always looked at, if you did get in Bitcoin, I told it to my friends, Bitcoin is like gold. It is a very long-term hold. Very long-term hold. $619 still out there looking out the window waiting for his Libra outdoor. I wish I had like 2 more outdoors, because they make great Meshtastic or mesh core nodes or repeaters. Wonderful. Bitcoin's got a little bit of a green candle starting. You got to think, it was here at one point. This is the hour. We'll see. There might be a turnaround we're waiting on. Or it might just even up with this whole line right here, kind of a line right here. I mean, somewhere around here, it's going to bounce and keep on going down, right? We'll see. We'll see what happens with that. I guess you can also make a long one like this. But that's from days ago. Yeah. Y'all get nervous? I'm getting nervous. I don't want y'all to unsubscribe and quit the live, but there is a part of me that said, well, again, I don't have the fucking money. I'm not supposed to curse. I'm sorry. I apologize. But I don't have the money. But how many of y'all, maybe I need to make a new poll. So I got 13 votes, and majority of everybody's playing just HODL. Some people are going to buy more alts. Some people are going to buy more Bitcoin. So we ended that poll. Let's do another poll. There you go. A new poll. Go vote on the new poll. Do you want to see another 15,000 Bitcoin? Part of me says yes, because I'm selfish. And I'm telling you right now, I would buy Bitcoin. But there is that part of me again that I'm going to talk out of both sides of my mouth and say, if VET is 0.007, if Cardano is 20 cents or whatever it is right now, if Solana is $70 right now, what do you think it would be at a 15,000 Bitcoin? Because, we're at levels right now that we were at the last time it was at $15,000. Can you imagine Bitcoin going down 15,000 and where these alts would be at? Would you buy alts? Would you buy Bitcoin? I don't know. I mean, I'm going to go and rob a bank just to have more money. Oh. And Milkman is 100% correct, because I got a friend from New Orleans that I'm in that group with. And look, he's my buddy. He's my brother, like a brother to me. Been friends with him since second grade. Y'all know, for me, that's a long time ago. 82, 83. Anyway, the dude texts me every day. I'm so wrecked. I lost X amount of dollars. I'm like, dude, did you sell? No, I didn't sell. Dude, you didn't lose a damn thing. Just quit looking at it. A lot of y'all know Fluffy from Helium. I did the AMA with him about 2 years ago now. Play Call of Duty with him all the time. And he's kind of a Bitcoin maxi. While he's played with some of these, Helium and a couple of the deep pins with us. He's in Wingbits also. But you don't see him online that much anymore because he doesn't look at it. He don't want to look at it. When we're playing Call of Duty at night, I'll say, dude, did you see Bitcoin today? Nope, and I don't want to know. He is playing the really long play, and he continues the DCA. I don't know if he has an automatic DCA type thing or something. He does not want to know. Don't tell him. He don't want to hear it. And he's probably got a lot more sanity. Not really hair, because I even have a little more hair than he does. But that's his long play. Don't tell me what Bitcoin's doing. He don't want to know about it dropping right now. He don't want to know when it's going up crazily. He has the long-term plan. All right, we got Bitcoin still going up. What y'all think? Cloud says, I think I'm going to pull out if it comes any more down. I'm going to tell you, I was on Crypto Blood's live yesterday, and I asked Crypto Blood that question. He talked about certain people that should be getting into USDC, USDT. This was yesterday. So yesterday, what was the price yesterday? What the hell was yesterday? Wednesday, at 9 a.m. So you were in the 70s. And what he said is, it all matters where you got in. If you're in any kind of problem, again, also, you already just had this fall to 59,000. But yesterday, what he was saying at 74 is he was another one thinking this was going into the 60s. And he was telling people, if you're well into profits, you need to not just sip profits, but take a good chunk of profits. Not all of it, but take a good chunk of profits. Because he believed it was going into the 60s. He's another one also mentioned, I believe, 58,000. But he also said, if you bought at the 80 and 90 range, you don't sell at this point. You don't try to catch the falling knife. And again, this is financial advice. You do what you feel that you're comfortable with, and you do what you feel that you can sleep okay at night. I stay up as a father. When you get my age and you start having heart issues, you start staying up at night because you worry about what's going to happen to your kids if you don't wake up, and that kind of depressing shit like that. And it's funny how me and my friends talk about that. You didn't think about that 10 years ago, even though your kids were smaller. As you start getting old and you start, you get friends that you're your age and you find out they had a heart attack and didn't make it. And you start thinking like, did I do right? Did I raise my son right? I had to talk with my son before. I know this is depressing, more depressing talk, but I had a talk, probably the most adult, grown up talk. I'm gonna say this without trying to choke up, but I had a talk with my son his first day of college when we dropped him off. Me and him one on one outside, and I said, if something happens to me, your mama can take care of herself. She's a grown woman. Hell, she got a master's degree and everything else. She probably can't cook and she can't boil water, but they got enough restaurants around here that she can feed herself. Got enough life insurance. I want you to finish your college, and I want you to build your family right. And you have to have those kind of talks. And as a father, I lay up at night and I'm thinking like, what happens in 20 years, 30 years? What are my plans? What are my kids' plans? What are my family? Am I doing it right? Am I still heading the right direction of where I want to go? Retirement. What am I going to do after that? Am I going to build this big compound that I keep talking about, this big piece of land a little up north where the land's cheaper? Am I going to put deep pin miners on it and crypto miners? Am I going to put farm animals on it? Am I just going to go hunting in the woods in the backyard? Am I going to build one of these big, elaborate hunting sheds that you can, like, you just sit there and you think about all that? And are my kids going to live close to me? And that kind, like, and then you start thinking about this crypto shit, and you're like, I was depending on, not that I was completely dependent on it because I have retirement pension, but you were still depending on it. You were hoping that you would build up enough that you can also go into that to help fund some of the things. And you're starting to get this wake up realization that I ain't depending shit on crypto, none of it. Since 2015, I've had this idea in my head of all these people that got into crypto, DCA, you DCA, you DCA. And by now I should have a nest egg that I can brag about when I go to softball games with other dads. And I don't. And I really think with crypto, I'm starting to realize that this is just a hobby at this point. Does anybody else kind of agree with that? I'm DCAing, but somehow my portfolio is not going up. My Exodus account, I told y'all before, I can't stand looking at my Exodus account when it's down 89%. I never thought I would see that shit again. And here we are again. I opened up my Exodus wallet today for the first time in a long time, and I about cried. I'm like, how did I let this happen again? But I still say we didn't have this crazy alt season that we thought we were gonna have. Cause I can tell you, if we was just sniffing all-time highs again, like they thought, I've been sucking profits. I hold most of a Bitcoin just to handle payments, not as an investment. I'm not sure what to do currently. Odin says USDT or USDC is better option. That option is it is, but more places take Bitcoin. Easy to convert. Depends on which one. It's always been a hobby for me. Yeah, and maybe that's just how I have to. You know, but but you don't agree with, like, okay, the deep pin stuff should be hobbies, but you DCAing into certain tokens every payday, every other payday, every week, whatever your DCA plan is. Or some people don't DCA. You watch a couple of YouTube channels and people think DCA is the greatest thing in the world. And at one time George showed, hey, if you were only DCAing a certain amount for the last 12 months, 15 months, 24 months, this is what you would have. Even though crypto did this, you would still be up here. Some people think DCAing is the worst plan. Like the guy that we watched, I showed you a video of a while back, thinks DCAing is the stupidest thing in the world. I call DCA, but really, you know what it is? This is what I have budgeted out of this paycheck to buy crypto. That's not, you're buying a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here. And it is what it is. But, all right, Bitcoin's up $6,000. All right, let's see where we're at with our poll. Do you want another 15,000 Bitcoin? We got 8 votes. I'm guessing that's probably 7 votes for yes, 1 for no. While I selfishly want 15 grand again, I do worry about. And look, and I called this again. I know this is not the time for I told you so, because that's an a-hole move. But I told y'all when this ETF stuff started with Bitcoin and Ethereum, and Bitcoin had this huge run up because of ETFs. I told y'all, you have people who are getting into crypto, Bitcoin, who have not only did they hear about the good things with Bitcoin, but they also heard the horror stories about how easily it can crash. Gold went down, stocks went down. I don't doubt that. My friends at work don't doubt that. But it didn't drop like this. Do y'all disagree with that? These people who probably get into ETFs have heard these horror stories of crypto, Bitcoin going down $6,000 in 15 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour. And if they got in at 80, 90,000, I can bet you if it started falling, they got the hell out. Because even though it makes it easier for them to get into crypto now, it also makes it easy for them to get out of crypto. And what I worry is, you have people who put their little pinky toe into the crypto pond. When I forget what Bitcoin was when this ETF got created or started, the ETFs. But if Bitcoin goes back down to 15,000, some people believe all these people are gonna jump back in. I'm gonna go out on the edge, and I might be the only YouTuber predicting this. I think you're gonna have some people say, I don't care if it's 15,000 and it might go back to 100,000. I ain't effing with this shit again. Does anybody agree with that part? Give me an amen. I'm just joking. But I really do believe that. I really do believe you're gonna have people who probably lost $1,000, $2,000, $500, 10 grand in this, and it goes to 15,000, and they're gonna say, I'm not getting into that again. I can go back to regular stocks or gold. Odin says, for tax reasons, it's better for me keeping it as a hobby until I win a Bitcoin block, then I will have to pay. I agree with you. I want a Bitcoin miner just so I can sit right here and just stay up at night wondering if my solo miner hit a block. I'm gonna try to stay awake for that. I want one of those new Bitcoin. It worked before. Somebody from Helium Depot was watching my live, and I said, I don't know if I really want one of them 4D skies. Y'all remember that? A lot of y'all will hear live with me. Like, I don't know if I'd want a 4D sky. I'm partial to Wingbits like that. And I get a text message that says, hey, we're sending you a 4D sky. I'm like, oh, holy hell. So, let's see if that works again. I really would think I'd like to try one of these hammer miners. I'd like to do some solo mining so I can tell everybody how that's going. Okay, now I'm waiting. Let me see. No, Brusho. Nope, that didn't work. Look, I'm not even greedy, Look, Ashlers are in stock. You can get it shipped to you and it'll be at your house in 6 days. Brusho. I mean, who doesn't want a Demo Mac or a Demo LTE? still don't understand how, maybe because it's pre-ordered and in stock. This is a version 1.2 terahash for $184. This is a 1.5 terahash for $95, or for $40 more, you can get 4.2 terahash. Look, I've had some of y'all text me, and some of y'all talk about, I don't know if I should be really saying this, but some of y'all giving up on this D-pin crap, or y'all gonna stay into it for the, especially the free ones, stuff like that. But y'all not gonna be as deeply into the project. Y'all not gonna go spend 500 or 1,000 for D-pin projects anymore, and y'all gonna start concentrating and lining these up. Again, y'all saw my video the other day. I mean, my picture of the day at Popeyes with Sydney Sweeney, and I still say I have a better chance of Sydney Sweeney eating with me at Popeyes, eating fried chicken sandwiches, than winning a lottery Bitcoin block. But some people don't care. They know that 3 or 4 times a day, that block's going to come through, or it's going to hit somebody. And they got 3 chances of hitting a lottery versus you buying a lottery ticket and only having 1 chance a week or 2 chances a week. Or you get the script miner that does, what y'all said, a couple of blocks. Was it a block a minute or a couple of blocks a day or something like that? For $400, you can get a Bitcoin super hex, BitAx super hex, and two BitAx gammas in 3 months of the D-pin tracker. All right, don't forget, if y'all want one of any of these, make sure you use my code. Help a brother out. Meat and beans and rice over here. But I want one of these just so I can play with it. I just want to see how it works. I just want to get my hands on one. I want to take these ESP32s, just like I told you all Tuesday night. I know I sound like a broken record. I just don't have time. But I really want to take some of these ESP32s and just try to play with some kind of solo mining with it. I had one set up at one point. I don't remember how the hell I did it and what was mining to. I don't know. Clouds said I'd mine Bitcoin Cash. 1 to 9 chance every year of 1.4K. Kyle Coffee, what's happening, man? Nice to see you. Hate to say it, but sure does seem like entropy is dead. 67,000. I got my hammer miner a week ago. How you like it, Kyle? You like the hammer miner? Cloud says she's got the boards coming in for Nerd X22 plus. Curious how much of a pain it's to be built. Cloud, if I know anything, you're the last person I got to worry about trying to get that working. Because I still haven't sprung on you yet what I need you to do in the mesh Discord yet. After what the guys from the Pacific told me they got to do. Because I am too old for Discord, and when they told me all these steps that I got to run, I'm just gonna forward all that shit to you, and you can figure it out. You got all the server stuff, so I haven't sprung that on you yet. I'm still trying to figure it out. What else? Anybody got anything else? I mean, look, I'll sit here and chit chat with y'all for another 30, 40 minutes. I don't care. Y'all know that, but I don't want everybody to get bored and leave either if they haven't left already. Let's see what the poll's doing. Do you want another Bitcoin? Still at 8 votes. If y'all haven't voted yet, got 14 people in here. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you go and vote. Let's go check Helium Deploy and see what else we can buy. What else we got? What's trending? Air Squitter. Tell you what, let's go and see. I can't search on live because you never know what my Google history is going to show. Let's see. If anybody's bought anything with my code, just to see, like to kind of show y'all what people have been buying, kind of what's in, what the cool cats doing. Nothing. Nothing. I think everybody's taking a break. Oh, no, I just had something. Let me see. 40 Sky. Whoever bought a 40 Sky a couple of days ago, if you're in here, thank you. I appreciate it. 40 Sky is $1,100. That's a decent amount of commission for me. So I thank you very, very much. Whoever that is that's in here that might have bought that. But that's it. Like for the last week. So things have kind of slowed down with that. Let's see if anybody bought anything on High Fix. I don't think so. They'll do the capture. Ooh, I got a little bit on High Fix. Let's see what they bought. Nothing. Nothing. Let's just carry it over. High Fix is slowed down. So that answers that question. I also wanted to go look at somebody brought up earlier. Worst day for Bitcoin since FTX. I can believe that. Fear and Greed Index is a 5. Ladies and gentlemen, I looked at this earlier today because I had this on my notes. It was at a 15. 15 was the lowest it's been like since the last bear market before that. A 5. I have never, ever, ever seen the fear and greed. And you know what they say? When it gets down these levels, this is supposed to be a buying trigger move. Maybe, I'm telling you, couple hours ago, let's see, 2 or 3. I've been going from work for what, 4, 5, 6 hours now. It was at a 15. That's a hell of a drop. And maybe George is correct that when you see this fear and greed index at this stupidly low level, this is why we're getting this green right here. Now, we did hit a little bit of resistance right here. Is that where I first had that line drawn at? That'd be crazy. Anyway, we got to see, pay attention, see if we bounce back up, if we're going to continue down again. Anyway, let's keep going. This is like I can't believe this. Alt season. Yeah, right. Top 100 coins over the 90 days. MYX. Anybody? Never heard of it. It's actually holding up with this craziness. I don't know what MYX is. It's already up to number 40. Anybody? MYX? Anybody? T.O. says, hey, Grumpy, did you figure out how to bond your mass chain Baton Rouge station yet? No. I have to go visit my mass chain station tomorrow in Baton Rouge because for some reason, even though the SDR is online and 2 or 3 beacons show up from stationary objects, I can't get any ships on it. I don't know what the hell's going on with it. I'm going to visit it tomorrow, mess with the antenna, see what I can get. But no, I'll try to look into that. Try to remember. But make sure you ask me again over the weekend when I got some time to play with it. All right. So what else we got? River. It's at 107. River. lot of coins in the red. His knight. So who knows anything about this token that George is messing with? So George supposedly came out with his own betting thing. And supposedly, Clash has been doing pretty good, supposedly. I haven't really. I know the dude talks about it constantly. Is it Clash or is it? He's got some kind of betting thing. I don't know if this is it or not. That's all he talked about on his live earlier was his. He started his own thing where you can bet all this stuff like is it gonna rain tomorrow? Who's gonna who's gonna score first in the Super Bowl and all those crazy things. Clash picks. It's called Clash. George plays Clash Royale. Oh, I don't know if this is it either. Clash picks. Here it is. So Clash picks. And this is George's thing. So you know what George is, George ain't rugging on us. And Clash has its own token, and supposedly the token's not doing that bad. And probably some people have did very well on it. But he's talking about it so much on his lives and his videos that people have had enough of it. And then he gets pissed and says, the only reason you don't like me talking about Clash is because you didn't make nothing off of it. You didn't get in sooner enough. I think it's kind of funny. But, I don't know if anybody... Has anybody messed with any of this betting stuff? Because this is becoming very big in crypto lately. We saw... I kind of hit on it in a video when we thought Nubla was going to mess with weather forecasting and betting and stuff like that. And yeah, we got led down the wrong road on that one. But Zcash down 37% in the last week. Dash, Monero, Solana down 32%. Sui, I bet Chirp must be taking a hit too. Pudgy Penguins, Arbitrum, that's something you don't hear as much about. Is one time that was getting pushed hard. XRP down $1.24. Casper near. Tell you, some of these tokens that have been around a while that we have. Remember BNB, wasn't that like $1,200 at one point? Let's see. I have it. It's fine, but I'd only stick to companies that never play with more than $100 at a time. It's because I'm playing Call of Duty. I am too. A little bit later. To yours, I can't find it, but going back to your question about the mass chain and the bonding, I remember seeing like a bigger write up on how much you have to bond and how to bond and all stuff like that. And I can't find it. I see where they mentioned bonding now, and I showed that the other day, but I don't see it anymore as far as where to bond at, or how much to bond, or You know, is it going to become an auction thing? If I'm in Baton Rouge, Cloud's in Baton Rouge, and T. Yours is in Baton Rouge, and me and Cloud both bonded X amount, we get the two. We're the two 100%. But if T. Yours comes later and wants to bond a higher amount, I don't think he gets the 100%. As long as we stay up to a certain level of online. I don't know. Maybe I need to do a video with Mass Chain and AMA from a boat with a drink in my hand with a cute little umbrella in it. What else, guys, gals? So far, I got 8 votes that yes to win on 15,000 Bitcoin. But again, if we get a $15,000 Bitcoin, do I need to create a third poll now and ask that question? If we got a $15,000 Bitcoin, answer in the chat right now. What are you doing with when we hit $15,000 Bitcoin in a month or 2 months or 3 months? Are you buying more alts? Because alts will be super duperly cheap at that point. Or are you resetting with Bitcoin and saying, okay, now I'm getting in Bitcoin cheap enough at 15 or 16 or 20,000? Think about it. We talked earlier about getting in Bitcoin at 75 or 60,000, 65,000. It could double and you can't 2x your money. But at 15 and 20,000, if it goes back to all-time high, that's a 6x. I can tell you what, y'all just do the opposite of whatever I'm doing. Whatever I tell you I'm doing, you do the opposite of. Kyle said he's buying 10,000 of Bitcoin and 5,000 Solana. Let me tell you, there was a joke today about what's Solana going to go back to. In one of the 3 or 4 videos, I'll tell you, I've been watching videos all day while I was supposed to be working. That's the good thing about having headphones and 3 different monitors. I can multitask that much. How low would Solana go? Because the last low was kind of an artificial low because Solana was going to be done because of FTX, and Solana fell to $8 to $10. Y'all know I backed the truck up and I scooped it up. I wish I would have bought way more, but I didn't. So what kind of low can we expect in a really hard bear market? What kind of low can we expect from Solana? You know, if it gets down to $40, are you loading up at $40, $50? Because even if it gets back to $200, that's only like a 4x from there. We didn't see this $600, $700, $800 Solana like they were talking about. I feel like I asked because I was talking about, and I kept saying, like, I don't think it's getting to 800 to 1,000 guys and gals like some people mentioned, but I was still saying 600 to 700 because hell, it got to 300. We were still not even out of a bear market yet. We weren't in the alt season yet, or even the bull crypto season yet. So if it can get to 300 now, it's got to be able to double and get to 600. Wrong. That was the high. But I do like Solana. I probably have all the altcoins I have with the most, when I bring up VET, some of y'all say, like, what, VET ain't got shit going for it. Well, I mean, it's got a couple of projects. It ain't got the Solana amount of projects, but it's got some projects behind it. So it ain't going nowhere. But, other than Ethereum, which the gas fees kill you, BNB, price tag kills you. Solana is number one altcoin out there that people are still building on. Whether it's meme coins, crap coins, whatever tokens, all legit projects. I really wish Mass Chain would have went to Solana. I thought they were going to it. I think Peak offered them something that Solana couldn't offer. Cash on the side, brown paper bag on the side of the road, go pick it up. How's it going? Cloud says, worst I pull out at 10,000, lose a little. I ain't pulling out 10. Like if it gets that low, you cannot pull it out. You know, I would almost, again, this is not financial advice. This is just me talking out loud, and I keep telling y'all, do the opposite of what I do. But I still say, you're at a territory right now that if you bought it all in the last year, you're getting to price points right now with Bitcoin that you can't sell. You can't sell. Does anybody disagree with that? Can I get an amen? Like, how can you, like, if you feel it's getting to 58,000, I mean, you could technically kind of sell right now. You're back up to 64,000, but how much really is that going to give you? I'm curious to see what happens here. Very curious. I'm curious to see if it's going to come back up to test this line, or if this is just, it's going to hit here and just keep coming down like this. It'll be very interesting next couple hours. You know, one thing George talked about, he gave a couple of different examples, but majority of this FUD, majority of this selling pressures come from the Americans. Because you can't go anywhere right now in the crypto universe in America without hearing about $50,000 Bitcoin. Epstein files mentioned Ripple, or mentioned, I'm sorry, I don't want to get sued, mentioned they were involved with financially with Ripple Labs. Don't get me started on this Epstein thing. Like, Trump's name is nowhere around it, and yet you still hear that, and nobody wants to talk about the fact that the Clintons are listed on it and don't want to answer subpoenas. We can't talk about that. But we're going to talk about the crypto side of it, that crypto is mentioned, Ripple Labs and something else in Epstein files. So people are taking it that crypto's, like, literally, people are saying this on Twitter. Crypto's over it because it's mentioned in the Epstein files. Listen, I know some of us are conceited Americans, but crypto's worldwide, bro. It's worldwide. Can we make some stupid decisions that hurt crypto and hurt the price? Yes. And we all like to follow along with what other people are saying on Twitter and X and YouTube and stuff. But again, this is not me saying it. This is the videos I'm watching earlier saying Americans are doing more damage with FUD right now with the selling pressure and just repeatedly regurgitating stupid shit. We're doing more damage than anybody else. We have this fear built up right now that the other side of the world does not see or recognize. Again, I'm going to say this again. This is not Grumpy saying this. This is what 3 different YouTubers are talking about. Now, are they all watching each other and sharing that same? That's possible. But I mean, is there anybody here from the other side of the world that can tell us, is their social media, crypto social media saying anything different? Or are they on the side? You know, I'm curious. Odin says, and Odin, I got to say, I'm not just saying this because he's in here and I'm not kissing his ass. I'm just saying, Odin's been on point about some other stuff in these live. I enjoyed when he's here because, you know, me and him don't always see eye to eye. We don't agree eye to eye on stuff, but sometimes we do. And he's been on point about several things. And I have to say, I don't know where he's pulling those numbers from out of his rear end, but I wouldn't dismiss it. I'm going to tell you, I've told y'all don't dismiss 58, 59,000. Then you had some people saying we ain't going that low. We're going to the high 60s. Well, we proved that wrong today. Now, I kept saying 58,000, 58,000, 56,000, 58,000, 56,000. We go lower than that, I have no idea where we at. Odin's saying 20, 30,000 around October. You know, I'm going to go far out there, and make a very bold prediction that I have about 1% chance in coming true. But you got certain financial people who know way more than me. And I'm not talking about crypto, I'm talking about like real financial people who are saying by October, November, either we're going to be recovered or we're going to be beyond wrecked. Now I know that's like, okay, Captain Obvious has to be 1 or 2. No, it ain't that we have to be 1 or 2. We could still be kind of surviving along this shitty path right now. Stocks and gold but you have some people saying by then, if they're going to drop rates, they'll drop rates by then. Raise rates, they're going to raise rates by then. You're going to have more crypto clarity come in. You're going to have more regulation come in. This Epstein shit should be somewhat done with, or at least we'll know more what's going on with it. But towards the middle of the end of this year, because of what they worried about with the dollar and with gold and with some other stuff and bonds or something like that, we could be in for a serious hurt with this economy. And that's not out the realm of possibility. What do you think crypto is going to be worth then? Or, I said this earlier, we've seen crypto do this, and in a month or two later, we were laughing about it. Hey, remember a month ago when crypto hit 56,000 and we all thought it was going back to 15? Those were good times. We should have bought then. Think about it. If it goes back up to 100,000 by next week, or even 2 weeks from now, it's back up to 90,000, 100,000. Hell, even if it goes to 90,000, that's 30,000 more than it is now. 90,000 last year was a dip. Last week was a dip. 90,000 next week is a $30,000 increase. And we're going to be laughing at ourselves for this week. I mean, we all thought crypto was over with. We were planning on changing our portfolios and only buying Bitcoin and liquidating the USDC and catching the falling knife. Tell me that's not out the realm of possibility. Telling y'all, don't forget Grumpy's rule number 12. When you think crypto is going to zig, it might zag. We've seen it too many times. And this will be a hell of a zig or zag. This is like trying to get a locomotive train to go around a curve and the tracks go straight. A lot of momentum pushing downwards to get a upper motion like that. But I am curious. I was referring if I buy 15,000. If you buy 15,000, you can't sell at 10,000. You just got to hold on to it. Bitcoin's not going to zero. You know, I'm watching these idiots on X with that's what y'all get for buying vaporware at, you know, whatever price and stuff, scam coin and all this stuff like that. They're like, because you can have $2,000 in your bank right now. And if you go to your bank and want to pull $2,000 out, you better come back later because banks ain't backed anymore. They don't have that kind of cash in there. If you need large sums of cash, even if you have it in your checking account, you have to put an order in and they have to get the cash in. So guess what? Just as quick as it's going to take you to get $2,000, I can get $2,000. Well, I don't have $2,000 worth of Bitcoin, but $2,000 of some of my other tokens. I could have that shit in my checking account in 10 minutes right now. If I wanted to go to Exodus right now and pull $5,000, not that I'm trying to flex on y'all, just follow me. These idiots, because there's been more and more people are going on Twitter and even Facebook. I've even seen it on Facebook, like us old people talking shit about crypto that they don't understand. If I want to go pull $5,000, y'all want to go pull $5,000 off of wherever y'all have it at. Y'all have it on cold storage. Y'all have it on an exchange. Don't keep it on exchanges, please. Some of y'all do. Wherever you keep it at. Y'all can move $5,000 right now from one of those tokens. Whether you move to USDC, to Coinbase, to Crypto.com, then into your checking account within 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Go to a bank right now that you have $5,000 in and go tell, oh, not right now, it's closed. Go tomorrow morning and say, I need $5,000 cash out of my checking account, please. Let's see what happens. But we got vaporware? Shit. Y'all can't tell me I'm wrong. Now, I don't know about overseas. I don't know what y'all banks are, but one thing that Biden relaxed was the amount of like ratio to loans and how much money banks have extended out to customers and their accounts and stuff. There used to be a certain percentage of how much cash or some kind of reserves they had to have on hand. Biden relaxed that shit. So they don't even have to have that no more. You can't go get $5,000 out. You can't go get $10,000 out. I don't know what's happening here. Maybe a little green candle coming up. Be curious. All right, what else? Anybody got? Grumpy, are you using an offline wallet, right? So, Cloud, how's the weather where you at? Are you in the clouds? Let's change that subject. Grumpy does not use a cold storage wallet because A, I'm lazy, 2, I'm cheap, 3, I'm hard headed, and 4, I accept the responsibility that if something happens to my stuff, it is my fault only. I am using what I personally feel. And listen, don't argue with me, please. Please don't argue with me because I'll mute you. I understand the most safest place you can keep your crypto is offline on cold storage. I understand that. Please don't argue with me. But whether you want to call Exodus a hot wallet or MetaMask a hot wallet, whatever you want to call it, it's still, as Wendy O would say, your keys, your crypto. I have the keys to my crypto with Exodus. Where on an exchange, or like I have some friends who are completely boneheaded, hard-headed, that keep their shit on Coinbase. I'm like, Coinbase is the worst place to keep their. Wait, but Coinbase is big and it's regulated, so I understand that. But you know how many people have complained online with Coinbase that because somebody tried to hack their account, now their account is locked, and there's no phone number to call with Coinbase. At least there wasn't at one point. And people online crying because they can't get their accounts unlocked. So now all their tokens and all their money is locked away and they can't get to it. You trust Coinbase? At least Exodus, you can use one of the cold storage wallets that link up to it, and they work hand in hand. So if I ever get off my lazy ass, Ledger, Trezor. Exodus will use Trezor. So you can use that hand in hand. Trezor will link up with Exodus so you can keep it offline if you want. Me, honestly, I'll be honest with y'all. While I sit here and try to flex that I have a couple of $1,000s in crypto, I just never felt there was that much to that work. Don't get me wrong. I'm poor shit right now. I told you the other day, my daughter needs a new oil pan for her Camry because she ran over something that she still can't tell me. And now her headlight's going out. Headlights $600, $700 for LED headlight, $300 oil pan, $500 thing in her steering in her wheel or whatever, in the axle or some shit. You know, look, I got bills backed up, so I'm not gonna sit and try to flex like a couple of grand ain't a lot, but I understand it's on me. But I just always felt that cold storage wallet would be for somebody who has tens of thousands of dollars and more of that. Me, I got it all spread out. I got some in Phantom. I got like 12 different Phantom accounts. And the thing what key about that is also with different 12-word passwords. That's pain in the ass. But hey, I've watched certain people on my Discord and certain people who, before we had Discord, another Discord, like people that would contact me through YouTube and kind of whatever, because they got their 12 words compromised one time, but they had 10 accounts on Solana. So with their 12 words getting compromised and all 10 accounts were tied to that 12 words, they got cleaned out of all 10 accounts. So I'll learn from their mistakes. And I passed that on years ago, or a year ago, 2 years ago to y'all, the same thing. When I'm creating a new account for Entropy, I'm creating a new 12-word. Now look, it's all still under the same Phantom tab, but it gives you the option if you want to start a new 12-word password. Hell yeah, I do. And I put that in my little safe area that I keep that in. And then when I got to start another Phantom wallet for something else, another 12 words. MetaMask, another 12 words. So I think that's part of it too, is I have this shit so spread out that's like, wow. Oh, I got to buy a new car. They only gave me 619, you lucky you walked away from all that stuff with minor injuries, man. Look, I used to work crashes a lot. I worked fatal crashes. I worked fatal crashes where the entire family was killed after church at 12 o'clock. And I don't mean to jump on this bandwagon or anything like that. But it was 4 illegals in a Jeep who were off on a Sunday, who got completely polluted Saturday night and were coming home from somewhere at 10 a.m. and were doing about 95 to 100 miles an hour on a 45-mile-an-hour highway. They rear-ended a family going down the road, just came from church. God bless them. Kids in the car. They smoked that car. It's like it blew up in a puff of smoke. And everybody died. Even the illegals died. So even their families had to grieve. Look, I've worked, I've worked some crashes. I worked train crashes where people's, I don't understand it. In residential neighborhoods, they got a train and people just don't look. And I've worked a lot of crashes where I had cars that were flipped over and people walked out of it without injury. And then you get the little bullshit crashes that you almost lose your job over because you can't even find the damage where it got the 2 cars hit at. And you got somebody who's falling out the car, holding their neck and their pancreas, thinking they're dying. Call my attorney, call my ambulance. Dude, you're lucky, any crash at this point that you can walk away from, cars can be replaced. That's why we pay through the nose of insurance. Cars can be replaced. You walked away from it. You're not paralyzed. You're not hurting. And that's the positivity. Can't find a Prius for under 5,000, so I got to drop 2,000 at least. See, maybe if Wingbits went to TGE already, you would have that $2,000 from Entropy. Now, 619 says he bought a cold wallet and it doesn't even do half the tokens you're in. What cold wallet did you buy? I'm just curious because I have heard that about several different of the cold wallets is that they don't, you would think if they do Solana, they would hold any Solana token, but from what I understand, that's not true. But again, I haven't messed with it. Oh. But Cloud, you bring up a good point. That's probably something that I don't talk about enough on my channel to be safe because it is, even though, I appreciate everybody who follows me. And some of y'all have been with me since the D-Fly, D-Scam days. And I feel like y'all are family and brothers, all bullshit aside. I even reached out to Who Fought It the other day. You know, he's not really in the live anymore. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. He's not really in Discord, but I reached out to him. I know he's not happy with certain things going on in the world. And I reached out. I said, brother, I'm just checking on you. Just making sure you're okay. And he replied back. He said, thanks for checking on me, man. I'm cool. I still kind of catch the videos every now and then. That's all I needed. He didn't have to explain nothing more to me. He didn't say nothing more. And that's just how I am. You know, it's, you know, it is what it is. But tangible. But that's what I was getting at. But, you know, I probably need to hit a little bit more on the cold wallet thing, just because it is heart wrenching to me when some of y'all reach out to me and say, look, I didn't give nobody my 12-word password. I didn't give nobody my password. I didn't give nobody this, but somehow my Phantom wallet's empty, or my so-and-so, you know, I had it on so-and-so exchange. I'm locked out and they're not helping me and I'm fucked, you know? Uh, uh, So maybe just as my public safety awareness type thing, just kind of like, you know, the, the commercials that tell you to always wear your seatbelt. Some of you don't wear your seatbelt. But hey, they're telling you to do it, you know, and it's off their conscience. You're an adult, you make your decisions. I could tell y'all to put cold wallet, do cold wallet, do cold wallets. Some of y'all might feel like me. You know, I really don't have enough to put in a cold wallet. But I could tell you that. Watch tomorrow that I go to my Exodus and somehow I got hacked and I don't have no shit left in it. I'm going to say, I knew I should have been using a cold wallet. What the hell was I thinking? That's me. Kind of like every crypto decision I've made. Hell, the only thing that's left for me is to get hacked at this point. God, I can't believe I just said that out loud. Look, hack one of my 12 Phantom wallets that only have like 37 cents in it. You know, one of my entropy accounts that had a couple of thousand in it that has like $17 in it now. Ledger Flex, it really only holds major tokens. So that's what I'm saying. Like, look at B13. There's another one. Glad to see you could come by. In the background, man, you already missed king cake discussions. You missed beans and rice. I got some kind of something going on. My mouth is starting to hurt, but I can't afford to go to the dentist or the doctor. Sucks being poor, man. Sucks being poor. I'm supposed to be living in the high end by now, but oh man, I don't know. We were talking about king cakes earlier. Um, should go get my king cake just so I can show y'all Tuesday when y'all saw that king cake. Again, my son's not even here, so I can't even blame. I gotta go get it. Let me go get it. I'll be right. Y'all, everybody go take a restroom break for 2 minutes, and I'll be right back. And I promise, there's nothing in my cup other than Diet Coke. I promise. My fingers aren't crossed. So, if y'all caught my live Tuesday, we had just got this Manny Randazzo's king cake, which is by far my number one or 1A king cake from New Orleans. With the icing on it, my mouth is watering right now. So if I happen to drool, because my mouth hurts on one side, I promise I'm not a Neanderthal or whatever the hell that word is. But what I want to show y'all is 2 days ago, exactly 48 hours ago, there was this much missing out of it. Y'all remember that live? And my son's not here, so I can't blame it on him. I'm telling you, there's something mysterious that every time you walk by this king cake, it's like habit. You just take this much. Just this much. Like this much. We got half this bitch gone already. This is empty. I don't know, you probably can't see it. So the cake is from here to here. Half. Somebody asked earlier in my Discord. Maybe I need to make a king cake channel in my Discord. I'm from the UK. What the hell is a king cake? I don't know how to describe it. I actually said, is it just a big cinnamon roll? No, like I like cinnamon rolls. Bucky's has the best cinnamon rolls in the world with icing. This is not cinnamon roll. Like it's got cinnamon, and it is somewhat like a cinnamon roll. Now, some of them have cream cheese in it. That seems like to be if you don't like traditional like this with nothing in it, I think cream cheese by far is like the most popular filled king cake option they got. I've seen some other ones, but I'm not about all that. I'm traditional. Now, the real traditional king cake was from Mackenzie's. And instead of it having white icing, they had food colored like sugar, purple, yellow, green, sugar that was on top of it. But I'm fat and I like the white icing. And it's the great. Yes, I am going to eat in front of y'all because I'm not going to sit and smell it and not eat it. So my favorite is the Manny Randazzo's. That's why this shit costs $72 to ship. Probably, was this the one that we looked at the other day? It was like $98 shipped out. And they're not shipping no more out. You know, 4, 5, 6 years ago, I got a friend in California that runs some radio systems out there. And I shipped them one to split. And he asked me again for it. And I'm like, sorry, bro, I'm too freaking poor. So here's cream cheese. So that's $79 with shipping included. Again, this was like $27, $26 or something. You pick it up at the place. And this is the large one. Oh no, I'm a Neanderthal. Say a word. Neanderthal. Anyway, so now let's find my button here. Who can get king cake shipped if you live out here? I think one that's kind of in the top 5. I think I said that earlier. Top 5 of king cakes would be Haydell's. And Haydell's does ship. This is $69 with shipped. Look, you can get other cake shipped too. Look at that. I think it was Jay Styles. Jay Styles, who was that earlier that we talked about where the king cake was cheaper and then by the time you added the shipping, it wasn't Haydell's. Who? I'm trying to remember who that was. They got Colada's Bakery. that does pretty decent king cakes. Um, one of my top king cakes is, and you have to know the whole Randazzo family drama. When one of the uncles or dads died and the brothers and the sisters split and they all wanted to do their own thing because they all wanted to have their recipe, and who's got the actual recipe of the Randazzo king cake since 1965. See, the Randazzo's Community City Bakery is like the sister or somebody who is a cousin or something, part of the same Randazzo's that this is the Manny Randazzo king cake. Well, the same recipe, but I find that the Community City one is a little bit better. My wife disagrees. She thinks this one's better, and Manny Randazzo's number 2 or 3. But these are sold out also. See, shipping dates are versatile. Now we still have 2 weeks before Mardi Gras. 2 weeks before Mardi Gras, something like that. And that's how you know which ones are the good ones, because these things are $89.90, $100, $120, and they have sold out already for a freaking cake. So that right there should give you a hint. So we got 2.5 weeks left before Mardi Gras, and they have sold out already. So, oh yeah. Gambinos. Again, probably top 5 king cake. This is $26. Now you can look at this and see it's not quite up to par. I find there's a big drop off. I say top 5, it still means the top 5 good traditional New Orleans king cake. They got some king cakes out there that are downright nasty. Downright nasty. They taste horrible. Walmart's got some king cake person they're getting from who knows where, giving them king cakes to sell. Pass. I wouldn't take it if they were 75% off. But see this, you can see kind of the icing on here. I'm trying to think who has the original. This is what the original Mackenzie's king cake looked like. I just Googled it. We have a "ain't there no more." That's kind of a New Orleans saying. When I grew up actually in the city of New Orleans, and all the old places that ain't there no more. But Mackenzie's is one of them. You can see how it's just this powdery sugar diabetic coma waiting to happen. And Mackenzie's got closed down and bought out and stuff, and their recipe has shipped a couple of different places. I don't know who really has it anymore. The only time it was Tasty Donuts, but yeah, man. Who makes the best king cake? AI can't be wrong. So, best choices for top king cakes: Manny Randazzo's. That's what I got right here. Known for tradition and fluffiness. Haydell's. I'll tell y'all, Haydell's probably top 5. Gambino's top 5. Dong Fong. I can tell y'all, I've had Dong Fong one time. Dong Fong Bakery is literally right down the street of where I grew up in New Orleans East. If y'all caught my video with me doing Chirp KAGE, I was traveling through there. I think I had like 6 guns on my lap because it's hardcore, like driving through Boys in the Hood now, Mexican style. And I'm not saying that to slander or be rude. Like their stats to back it up. New Orleans East is rough. And at one time, all the street signs were torn down and put up with Vietnamese wording because the Vietnamese kind of took it all over. And then at some point, which I haven't kept up with it, then the Hispanic community kind of took over, and the Vietnamese got even like it got very bad. I know people that still worked at 7th District in New Orleans East, for the New Orleans Police Department, have told me that it's nasty. But that's what Dong Fong's at, and people go still line up in the front of it and go get it. This dude's wild. He'll go around and go and eat at all these different places. I don't think I can get the volume up. I don't know. For some reason y'all can't hear it. I don't know. That dude's wild. All right. We had enough king cake talk. What else? So that was our king cake, discussing the best king cakes. Just so I can say I stayed on title. Y'all should be proud of me. Even though half y'all might have left. Oh, I got 14 people still in here. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you go vote. Oh. When's the Super Bowl? Super Bowl is this weekend. Super Bowl is this weekend. We can stir some shit. Our next poll is going to be who's watching the halftime show for the Super Bowl. People get offended about the stupidest shit. When do we become such pansies? You know what? There's 2 different halftime shows. If you want to watch the Super Bowl halftime show and watch half of it in Spanish and you don't care because you like to see all the fireworks and the craziness of the halftime show and the commercials, then watch the damn Super Bowl. If you want to go watch the Erica Kirk classic, whatever the hell she's putting on with whoever, with Aerosmith and with Rolling Stones and Kid Rock, then go do it. You don't have to go and push that shit on everybody one way or the other. Just go do it. Why does it have to be thing on Facebook? I'm not watching that like that. Oh my God, I'm going to watch this. I'm not watching that because that's bullshit that they're going to push that. Just do it, man. Just do it. Just do whatever the hell you want to do. Me, I'll probably be on my computer playing, doing something else. Got way too much other shit to worry about. Waiting for LSU to come back. Baseball. That's what we're ramping up baseball. Gotta start preparing for my fantasy baseball draft. People get Dong Fong. They let Chinese make everything. Yep. Patriots in it, but I'm gonna tell you right now. Anybody at the beginning of the year who saw the Patriots going in it, lie. Or they may be a Patriot fan just because they die hard. If you put some money at the casino, every year I go to an emergency conference, the statewide emergency conference for mutual, so we can all get together and come up with different plans and all these different meetings and stuff. But it's always at Lake Charles at one of the casinos because that's what the convention center is. And I always go look at the odds for like the World Series and the Super Bowl. Because even though it's April or May, they'll have that shit already. Nobody had the Patriots. And I tell you also is I remember, I said when I was younger, but I'm talking about in my 20s and 30s and even early 40s. We used to watch the Super Bowl for the commercials. There'd be some wild, awesome, funny, like it was about the commercials. It was just about the commercials. We didn't give 2 shits who was playing. We didn't want to watch we didn't care about the halftime. Even though Katy Perry was awesome. Hey, Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre was awesome. That brought me back to the mid 90s. You know, that was crazy. But anyway. But it was the commercials. But I find now the commercials ain't even that good. They're just regular commercials. Like there's nothing special. Maybe we can't get wild anymore. I don't know. But the Super Bowl was always about the commercials too. I find there's nothing special about them. But I know, like I said, I know several people just watch it strictly for the commercials. But I can't tell you I'll be watching it. Hey, everybody, I see a lot of people talking about the Puppy Bowl. I don't know anything about this Puppy Bowl thing. But I saw a lot of people saying, I ain't watching, what's his name? Roger Rabbit or whatever his name is at the halftime. I'm not watching Erica Kirk and Aerosmith. I'm not watching, I'm watching Puppy Bowl. Dude, how did I miss Puppy Bowl shit? Come on, dude. I can't watch Puppy Bowl because with my dog, which, and y'all have seen my dog in my live before, I got an 8-pound Maltipoo, half Maltese, half poodle, more Maltese, a lot less brain cells. And that dog will see a wolf on my 65-inch TV in the living room and will attack the freaking TV. She's a bully. One time she was out the front door and there was a Rottweiler that came down the street with a guy, and my 9-pound dog about tried to attack this Rottweiler. I had to go hurry up and grab it. So my dog will see this shit and go apeshit ballistic. Guarantee it. She's gonna think she needs to be on that. So it's Puppy Bowl on, like, I don't know what time the Super Bowl starts. This starts at 1 p.m. Central Time. It's simulcasted across Animal Planet, Discovery, TBS, and True TV. We cut the cord a long time ago, so I don't have cable or satellite anymore. But I do have like every other freaking streaming service they got. Discovery Plus, so I can watch the Crab Show. Deadliest Catch, that's my shit. Dude, is that crazy or what? Y'all got some shit with y'all.
He plays low to the ground, but his game, sky high. Roulette doesn't just chase the ball, he owns it. He's not just in the game, he is the game.
Yeah, that's something that we can all get along to. But you know, there'll be somebody out there who hates dogs, only likes cats, and thinks there needs to be a cat bowl, and they'll be offended. And then they'll be marching saying we need to outlaw dog bowls, puppy bowls. I do have antenna TV. I have antenna TV. You mean like an antenna outside? Dude, I got a 40-foot ham tower in my backyard. You don't think I have an antenna on it? I can get, on a good day, I can get TV channels from Mississippi, of course, New Orleans and Baton Rouge, and Lafayette. And even the low power sums from the towns closer to the Gulf of Mexico on a good day. But I just don't flip to it and don't watch it. Y'all know me. I watch streaming and me TV tunes. I tell y'all that all the time. Westerns, the Rifleman. My wife's so sick of hearing a Rifleman theme song. Or I can tell you now, I can go right now on my TV. And at 2 a.m., my wife will start screaming at me to come to bed. I will get stuck on Pluto TV. In that whole block of like 15 movie channels, there is always a movie from 1990 something that I will sit there and watch. always. There's always a movie there. Beverly Hills Cop 1, 2 is always on it. They always got Pluto TV's always got some movie that we can watch. It's like I'm saying, I don't need to pay for premium shit. Like I can sit there and just watch Pluto TV. Let's see what's on. Painting Game with The Rock. Rambo 3. I told y'all. Interstellar, good movie. Tomb Raider, good movie. Mean Girls 2, no. How to Lose a Guy, no. The Wood, no. Down the Dope, no. Thief, no. Assassin. Friday 13th, that's a classic. Mandy, no. Ghost, no. Some Kind of Wonderful, The Last Waltz. Naked Gun. Dude, come on, dude. This is a freaking classic. Look, it won't let me show y'all. It won't show up on the live. That's funny. Urban Cowboy. I remember going. I know I'm really aging myself here. I can remember going as a little bitty kid with my parents to the movies. Early 80s. Urban Cowboy. Game of Death. Bruce Lee. I'm a Bruce Lee fanatic. I've seen every documentary, everything. Like, I am a fanatic. I have gone with Travel, Gunsmoke, Bonanza, Wild West, Rawhide, The Rifle. This is a channel that all day is The Rifleman, Lone Ranger. I'm telling you, man, I could get like, I don't need streaming service. Like, this is good. This is free. I know we way off the rails on this one. Way off the rails. We King Cakes and Pluto TV now. Don't know why, but I bought a Helium Wi-Fi outdoor. Still don't have a commitment. So hey, if it was cheap, and if it ain't costing you nothing monthly, go for it. I mean, I have been taking almost one a week right now, just because I'm repurposing it for mesh. I've been taking my helium stations down. And I kind of thought about this today. It shows you how poor I am. But I'm like, okay, these helium stations are making like 3 cents a day. But when you got 15 stations up, 17 stations up, and you don't collect it for like 2 weeks, it does give the appearance that you're actually making a little bit. But I really need the antennas and the pies from the inside. And I've just finally had enough of helium. Like, I've been one that's been trying to keep the dream alive. But, like, it's just disgusting. It is disgusting. That's sad, dude. That is so sad. And then they charging you a shitload of Solana. They want you to have 0.02 Solana in your wallet just to claim. So I claimed this 4 days ago. Let's see. So 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. On stations 4 days ago with 0.07 HNT. It was about 50 cents. Non-station. Like, that's sad, dude. It's so sad. But I got $200 layered antennas on each one of them that work wonderful with mesh. I can get better use out of that. It costs more to power the device. Cloud, you're welcome. Cloud, I have mine hooked up to uh, um 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 the hell is it? One of the other streaming ones. Like I don't use it that much because I don't watch. I'm gonna tell you, all I watch on the local TVs channels is news for the wet, especially for the weather. Sometimes during sport. Other than that, I watch streaming shit. Like, but streaming stuff like Pluto. You know, I have Disney because my daughter watches all the, you know, Marvel stuff and things like that. And I got Paramount streaming or whatever like that. So my wife could watch Yellowstone and I watch Landman and that kind of stuff. But other than that, we ain't got that much. Tableau. I got mine hooked up to Tableau, which lately streaming on other devices, Tableau has been kind of wonky. I also gotta go trim my tree because my tree is kind of grown in front of the antenna. I can get in the New Orleans channels great, but going back to Baton Rouge has been having issues. I can't even get to Lafayette that much anymore. But that means I gotta bring a bucket truck over here and pack the top of my tree. I told you how tall my tree is when it's taller than my 40-foot tower. But you know, at one point I was getting 100+ stations off those antennas. Half of them are duplicated. More than half of them are shopping channels. Half of those that aren't shopping channels are in different languages. So what did you have really to watch on that? Again, Pluto TV's free. I'm gonna keep saying Pluto TV's free. You cannot scroll through Pluto TV's 100+ channels and not find something to watch. Tubi. Excuse me. Those beans and rice I ate earlier. Oh, it's Diet Coke. Only Diet Coke. We gotta wrap this live up. I need to get me a drink. I don't even want to look at crypto. Let's see what our helium is doing before we go. How about that? Ooh, looks like we start this little trend right here. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna work. It's a serious slide. I don't know. I mean, at some point it's gonna go above it. Either way, we have 65,000. It's crazy. Helium 74, vets at. God, if I could have caught this wick on vet. What's y'all give me some other ones? What are y'all looking at? Anything other than Bitcoin that y'all are looking at that I might not be checking? I'm just curious if there's another altcoin out there that y'all might be looking at that I might be missing out on. ICP. Holy shit. This is 1 hour, but this is Nadix. Nadix. Holy hell. Nadix just freed up all my tokens, so I didn't get a chance to even dump those. Damn, dude. That's crazy. So what was that? 30 days ago, I tried, a little more than 30 days ago, I tried selling my Nadix. Even though it was not staked, I got pissed off. Because even though it wasn't staked, they still, once you say that you want to move all your tokens to another wallet, it takes 30 days for that to occur. So that means 30 days ago, and again, it wasn't exactly 30 days because it got freed up about 2 or 3 days ago. So was it the 4th or 5th? It was at 0.003, and it's at now it's an additional 0.07. Is that disgusting? What else? All right. There must have been a little flash crash here a little while ago. We missed it. But Solana's still gradually going down. What else? Anybody got ETH, Rover, and GeoNet looking good to buy? Let's see. GeoNet's a good project. So you got GeoNet. We know it's a good project. GeoNet is only down 1 penny since this morning, even with all that crashing today. 1 penny. Only down 1.8 pennies cents in a week. Let me tell you something. This is 100% non-financial advice. I don't know why I'm telling y'all this, because I'm telling y'all don't follow it. With GeoNet holding this, there's a part of me, I got over $1,000 worth of GeoNet. I might liquidate about 100 of it and throw that into Solana. Especially since that wallet's so low. What y'all think? Even take some of it and put it into VET or Cardano or Bitcoin. I mean, think about it. A month ago it was here. A year ago it was 29 cents. I just think you can take $100 of this and put it into Solana and make Solana or even VET gain more than what that $100 sitting in GeoNet would be. Right? Or am I not looking at that right? I don't know. High mapper's done. Nothing is happening there. Told y'all, man, that is one, if I had to list one of my better decisions of crypto, high mapper is one of them I can hang my hat on. I bailed. When they kept throwing me off with the B and we delaying it again, you said, you know what? Why don't you delay it permanently for me? Give me my money back. And I got out of it at a good time. So you're down 90% in a year. In a week is down 23%. In the day it's down 9%, which ain't too bad. Hey, I'm going to tell you another one. This right here. How many of y'all, because I know some of y'all have been in demo way longer than I have. How many of y'all are completely disgusted by this price? I bet the dude's not begging for subscriptions right now. Down 20% for the week. It was at a penny. Now it's at a little under a penny. But I mean, did y'all ever think we would see a demo down 35% for the month? Did y'all ever think y'all would see a sub 1 penny demo? If Wingbits falls under a certain price when that gets released, are y'all buying some? I mean, I have over 1 million, so like I can't see me buying any. But somebody brought that up earlier, asked me that question. Like I can't answer that question because I have 1 million Wingbits. I couldn't answer that question, but somebody here might. What else you said? I mean, I like Rover. I do have to say, out of all those, I like GeoNet the best. I think they're the most established. For the longest time, Rover was holding this penny, man. They were just stable at a penny, between a penny and 009, penny and 009. And they just lost that grip. ETH is kind of dropping, man. ETH, this is a week chart. It dropped 50% in a week. Stealth EX, that's a new CEX. I think they're like one step up from the Dollar General CEX of MEXC. Bitmart. I'm gonna tell y'all, and again, this is not financial advice, but out of those 3 projects that B13 says, ETH, Rover, and GeoNet, I like those kind of in the opposite direction. GeoNet by far, I tell you all this all the time. Out of all my projects that are on mainnet right now, I think GeoNet by far is the most secure, best one, most stable one. We know they have all kinds of paying customers and stuff like that. Chirp, I question a lot of things with Chirp. Then Rover, then 375 AI. I worry about 375 AI because while we have these apps that you drive around with, their main crux, their main part of their project are these billboard things that cost like literally 25 grand a piece. Even though they were supposed to come out with some kind of thing where we can all partially buy in, you just wonder about that whole premise of, even though it's edge, that's the key hot word right now. You just wonder how much of that project, how much is that sustainable with that project? Like $25,000 billboard edge devices. I don't know. Rover, I like Rover. Especially if you can stake enough to get the big Pac-Man looking thing, the big light cone, big Darth Vader looking helmet that goes on the front of your vehicle, and your spouse, him or her, don't care. You can make some damn good money with that. Especially if you like some of these guys on here who travel from California to Missouri or wherever they're going with a freaking Darth Vader helmet. Now, they do have that thing going on right now in that discussion. That's one thing I've been wanting to bring up with y'all, but we have to go, man. It's 9:30. But one thing Rover has brought up is redoing their rewards. And I haven't seen y'all really talk too much. I know there's a whole bunch of y'all in Rover, but Rover's got we've been talking about, I'm not even on the right screen again. I guess I got to look before I talk. But Rover's got a poll going on too. Grumpy ain't the only one having polls where if y'all haven't voted, and look, this is close. This is close. 115 to 119. Let me try to blow this up a little bit for y'all. So if you have not voted yet, I'll put a link to this in my Discord in the Rover channel, I believe. But you got 2 days left to vote. And this is down to, this is like a presidential election right here. I ran out of fingers and my college math failed me. 6 votes left? 6 votes? Do you want to keep current rewards and high rewards? Look, I voted for this, and honestly, that shows you how much of a dipshit I am. This is going to hurt me. But if I'm falling on the sword for the betterment of the project. If the highway data is becoming redundant because everybody's driving highways for the betterment of the project, to try to push more mapping of rural or urban highways, urban roads or whatever, which again would be a better selling thing for customers, to get customers, then you have to vote for the highway reward minus 30%, urban reward more, to get them to scan more. Because if everybody just only does highways, anybody who's looking to buy that data that don't need highways and wants the other roads, ain't gonna have it, right? Or am I looking at it wrong? And again, this is going to hurt me because I travel back and forth to Baton Rouge all the time for meetings and stuff like that. That's on interstate. Into New Orleans, that's on interstate. A little bit around town where I work at, but that's about it. I don't know. So make sure y'all go vote on this. Somebody just went voted. 619 says it's being botted. Odin said Odin holds everything long term. And Odin's a big boy. He can do that. I've like there are some projects that I will hold long term. And look where helium got us. I look at just now what is in my helium wallet. I got shitload of tokens in my helium wallet and a shitload of tokens in my Exodus. And I think of what that was worth at $40 a piece. It's worth under a penny right now. No, under a dollar. I mean, I'm sorry. Under a dollar. Right? So grass was at $4 at one point. Do y'all see grass getting back to $4? Because I see everybody who staked the last time. This is just me spitballing here. I don't see nobody holding that long term. Nobody wants to wait a year and a half for rewards again. Whenever these rewards are coming out, you waiting a year and a half? Because I'm not. I'm out. I've made it no secret. I just don't like being played games on, if that's the word to use. So that's Rover. Make sure you go vote on the poll. Oh well. What else? Anything else? B13 just voted. B13, I have 7 demo devices and I promise 4 coworkers a quarter profit winner if I cash out. And you have 7 devices. Did you ever, or are you ROI'd at this point on those devices? Because me, I had 5 devices. 2 were free. Because my buddy said, I'm not getting into this shit. It's already out. But I bought 3. And yes, for a little while, early last year, maybe at some point, yes, I was a little bit over. You know, I bought 3 devices for $90 a piece, $270. I might have had $300, $320 in total in my wallet. But eventually Token does this. And I should have cashed out when they were talking about subscriptions and the prices jumped up big time and then came back down. But I recently cashed out my demo so that I can get that Solana and that other wallet, which I look like a genius right now because when you look at what demo's worth, I remember we did that beginning of the, you know, I don't know how long ago that was. So, you know, it came down 35%. Not that much in the whole scheme of things, but damn, then you had to buy a semi truck to car dive. See, at least people who had the first pies, the auto pies or whatever like that, they don't care because they got to take theirs out. Because that's what Fluffy did. He took the pie out of him and reused the pie for a D-Fly or a Wingbits device now. So that worked out. Dude, 619, are you serious? 619 did not follow Grumpy's rules of crypto. Grumpy's rule number 9: don't stake for longer than 6 months. Crypto is too volatile. I know this was way after you actually staked. How long was that stake? Was that like a 3-year stake in the H&T? B13. I think it's hilarious that Grass. I think Grass does not give, maybe because they're so detached from Discord, they don't go to it. They're just gone. Like their team, you don't see nothing from their team ever. Other than every now and then they'll give a little nugget or something to keep everybody holding on. I think they think we're stupid. I think it's it's not coincidental that the fact that they or continue to put off giving out rewards. We're going on 14 months now with no rewards, almost 15 months without rewards. And they're pushing it back, and they're waiting for this device to come out. And again, I know it says in my video of the night, but I know not everybody will watch it because it's too damn long. But I think if you have 2.6 million people mining with this project, do you really have to come out with a device? Because it sounds like they're doing a damn good job on their own. What you need, 3.6 million? Now, I will argue with all these Discord trolls and cheerleaders all day. I don't care what excuse you use. You cannot convince me that there are 2 million people who don't use Discord that are mining that project. And it might be 2.2 because I think they're saying there's between 2.4 and 2.6 million people. That's a big number. That's 200,000. It doesn't sound like it when you say 2.4. We have 2.4 to 2.6 million people in this project mining. Brother, that's 200,000 people. That's a lot of people. So you're telling me your Discord only has 40,000 members, but there's 2,200,000 people in addition supposedly mining this project who are supporting this project to try to show it's like there's some big, huge community. You're trying to tell me, like, do you really think all those people are real? Or are all those people fake, but they're using each other to school and game or whatever you want to call it, codes or whatever? Because you get huge. It's been no secret after the last. Maybe we just figured it out. Maybe that's why they can't go full mainnet yet, because they know how many people are scamming them for referral codes, and they know that it's not 2.6 million. Is not. You realize that's bigger than some cities and. I mean, think about it. 2.6 million people supposedly mining this project. I'd like to know what's the second biggest crypto project that people are in. Because 2.6 million just seems like it's a crazy amount for grass. And I think what it is I still think another thing is conspiracy theory is that when they do give out these rewards and people realize they're shit, they know they're in trouble. Because again, you're going to have some people who say, oh my God, look at all this grass tokens I got. Yeah, but it's for 14 months. It ain't like it's for the last week or the last epoch. For 14 months, this is what you got. When you divide that up, 14 months, and then 30 days in each month, now what you got? But you got some people who say, and they argue with me, and I understand the argument. Hey, kind of like with me with 375 or Combiner on this. It's running in the background. It's not hurting anything. It doesn't bother you. And you're right. Grass might do that. But 375 and Combiner, at least yet, are not playing games with me either. Grass is already rewarded once. They had the whole reward thing figured out and did it once. There's no reason it should take 14 months to reward again. And then now they're talking about they want to create their own wallet. Why? Solana's got plenty of wallets out there, guys. You don't need another wallet. You do if you want to delay it and make that excuse. But yeah. Grumpy, it has been 2 hours and 43 minutes. You're right. But hey, I got 12 people in here. But no, you're right. I have to go. Thank you. I need a drink. You know, it's funny how every time I say I need a drink, I also need to go look at what the crypto prices are doing. Oh, it don't look that positive, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be curious to see what happens when we wake up, when I go to work tomorrow. What this all looks like. It looks like to me this trend's still going now. And if America is partially the reason why this is selling so bad, half the people had an exhausting day selling and they're sleeping it off till tomorrow. So, all right. I appreciate it. Oh, dude, 619, you stayed for 4 years. You must have had a helium hat and a pair of underwear to go with that, like boxers. They must have gave you for free. Like you must have been the biggest helium advocate. You and what was his name? Crypto Hawk or whatever his name is that was doing got the money for his lives and all his videos and all that shit from helium and based his whole YouTube around it at one point. Yeah. Both of y'all. Cloud, good night. I appreciate it. Appreciate everybody who supported the channel. Look, my subscriber numbers are coming back up. I appreciate it. You know, I was way down for a while, and it's just funny how those fluctuate. Maybe I'll be at 37,000, or who knows? Who knows? But look, we'll get through this shit. Whatever it is, whatever happens, we got to hodl. Because like even me, I'm taking some tokens, and look, I might be selling, but I'm not selling for cash and cashing it out. I might be selling some GeoNet to put into Solana or something else to put into something else. So I'm just kind of shifting some stuff around, positioning myself, as they say, like when I pretend like I know what the hell I'm talking about. I'm positioning myself for better futures. Yeah, since 2015, and we see how that goes. Thank y'all. I appreciate it. I appreciate all the support. Might do a video the weekend, might not. I don't know. It's not really do videos on right now. Found out about the mass chain thing and locking that down and all that. And we'll be back Monday. Probably would be an interesting video to see, you know, what happens since this video. So I appreciate it. Thank y'all for watching. Somebody get the lights on the way out. Hit the like button before you leave, please. And see y'all later, or see y'all later in the Discord. Thank y'all.